See, all right. So first and foremost, I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rikakodash. We say that man supporting Elohim agreements and rule teaches our opportunity truth, and we see salutations so they are coming to the push within our truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season of the season. We say Shalom. Once again, going into a video here, and that's basically touching upon a video about distractions. Now, in this walk that you're walking, and this part that you're in, you have to understand that distractions will come, right? Now, when you look at the meaning of the word distractions, it says a thing that prevents someone from concentrating on something else, right? Even it says a diversion, an interruption, right? It says extreme agitation of the mind. Now let me just go down here a little bit. It also goes like to the let me go down here a little bit. Sorry, right? It says what is the correct meaning of distraction? Distraction comes from the Latin this apart and trahere drag. So distraction is when you drag away from your task or from your worries. Definitions of distraction: the act of distracting, drawing someone's attention away from something. And again, we don't want to ever be distracted when it comes to this thing, because you always want to be kingdom minded. You always want to be your focus is on the Lord. Your focus is on the truth. Your focus is on pushing this word, right? You don't ever want to get distracted. I would say distracting, drawing someone's attention away from something. And there's a lot of things, while you're on this road, right, that you're going down, that would that would come to distract you, whether it be woman, your job, your family, money, whatever it may be. Those are things that would draw your attention away from the Lord. Now, I want to bring the scripture. I want to start with the scripture, because the scripture is while thinking about, through the spirit was distraction of John, through the mind. This was the precept that come to my mind, right? You say 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 24, right? Matter of fact, let me read from verse 22. It said, to the weak became I as weak, that I may gain the weak. I am made all things to all men, that I might be, that I might by all means save some. And this I do for the gospel's sake, that I may be partaker thereof with you. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain, right? And that's how it's supposed to be. You're running so you could obtain, the things that come with this thing, right? You don't ever want to be distracted. You run in this race, and when you watch to your left, a woman there, you get distracted. You watch to your right, you see something else, and that distracted you. Money, whether it be family, whatever it is. You always want to be focused. So that way it say, know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize, and one receiveth the prize. And that is you. You want to be that one that receiveth the prize, right? You want to be that one. So you don't want these distractions to pull you away. That way it say, the act of distracting joins someone's attention away from something, right? You don't ever, and there's again, if you're not focused, there's a lot of distractions that could take your mind away from this thing. I know draw some examples there, right? And we know one of the biggest things too that do that is like women, right? You also see things like work, the affairs of this life, right? So you don't ever want to be distracted, right? And when these distractions come, be strong in the spirit that you could just be focused. You see, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I not as one that beateth the air. You see, but I keep under my body and bring into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. Now, again, let's go back to verse 25. It say, but we, so it say, now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. And that is what you should be focusing on, right? That incorruptible crown, you know. So you don't ever want to have these distractions take you away from this, right? And there would be a lot, especially the times that we're heading into. There's going to be a lot of distractions that is coming, right? A lot of distractions. You know, you might end up into a situation um, where it would be you're choosing this truth, you're choosing the Lord, or your family, because your family they wouldn't want to they would want to stay in the society, meaning that they would want to take that MOTB, right? So they would become a distraction. They would be basically drawing their attention away from the Lord. Because why? You know, a man might love his family, might love his kids, and so forth, not knowing is your enemies is of your own household, right? And you might, and that man might want to give up your family, so you get distracted, and you fall to that, right? So you have to pay attention to these things, but you want to run that race so that you can do what, receive that prize, and you always want to be, that tunnel vision. You know, you're focusing on what is in front of you, not one side and not what that's temporal, right? Jump to our next scripture here, 1 Corinthians 7. I'm going to go down to verse. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7, and I'm going to read verse 35. It says, "And this I speak for your own profit, not that I may cast a snare upon you, but for that which is comely, and that ye may attend upon the Lord without distraction." And that is how we're supposed to be, attending upon the Lord with what? Without distraction. So we always want to be what? Focus. We don't want anything to be drawing our attention away from the Lord, right? Right? So we always want to be serving the Lord without distraction. Without distraction, right? Yeah. So going back to the 1 Corinthians 7 verse 35, it say, "And this I speak for your own profit, not that I may cast a snare upon you, but for that which is comely, and that ye may attend upon the Lord without distraction." So you may attend upon the Lord without distraction, right? And let me just look. It say, what are examples of distractions? It say distractions can be external, such as noise, or internal, such as fatigue, rumination, or stress, right? They still didn't give me a good what are distractions in the Bible? In the lives of biblical figures, common distractions include wealth, relationships, fear, and doubt. An example is a parable of the sower, Matthew 13, yeah, or thorns representing the cares of the world choke the word, making it unfruitful, right? So, as I say, what are some biblical examples of distractions was wealth, relationships, fear, and doubt, and what I now mentioned, right? You know, your relationships, obviously you're going to the woman, your wealth, the riches, because now when you set a focus on riches, that distract you from the truth, that is distract you from the purpose that you really put here to do, right? You know, the fear and the doubt, all these things. Jump to another scripture here. I'm gonna go to the book of Philippians, chapter 3, right? Philippians chapter 3, verse 13. It says, "Brethren, I count not myself to have," Philippians 3, verse 13. "Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before. I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Yahushua Mashiach. Let us therefore, as many as be perfect, be thus minded. And if in anything ye be otherwise minded, God shall reveal even this unto you." Right? It's nevertheless, whereto we have already attained, let us walk by the same rule, let us mind the same thing. Brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them which walk so, as ye have us for an example. Right? So going back to verse 13, that would say, brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before. I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Yahushua Mashiach. So you press toward the mark, and that's how it's supposed to be. You're pressing toward that mark for the prize, right? Of the high calling, right? So you understand that distractions would be there, but you always want to be pressing towards that mark, so making it call in an election sure, right? You want to be able to search out your salvation with all fear and trembling. So these distractions, when you're doing that, distractions would be like there's something only say you push away. No, it would come. Some of these things it will bother you, right? But you always want to be continuing pushing straight on to the end, right? To the end. You don't ever want to stop. You don't as it say here, in the lives of biblical figures, common distractions include wealth, relationships, fear, and doubt. You don't want that wealth to take you away, because what? That temporal stuff. That stuff you can't that wealth for sure not going and save you, right? It will just be a distraction. That relationship, you feel a woman could save you, you feel the kids could save you, no, right? Any times to come, and I mentioned before, any times to come, your own kids could be enemies if they're not in this thing, right? Your wife, she don't want to give up this place because why? she don't draw that love for this place. She will become a distraction unto you. You understand? So that is why you have to be to press toward the mark. You understand? Right? So don't make these distractions take you away from the Lord. Right? Let me bring another scripture here. Let me go to the book of Romans. Romans chapter 12. Right? And let me read from verse 1. It says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. So that is our service. That is our reasonable service, right? To make itself a living sacrifice, holy acceptable unto God. So distractions, even though it would be there, you wouldn't fall to those distractions. You wouldn't, as it say here, to be prevent someone from concentrating, because why? You understand that you have to concentrate on who? The Lord. So you have to push. It say, and be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. So as verse 2 say, and be not conformed to this world, right? So be not conformed to this world. So let me look at the meaning. They will conform quick. No, conformed, right? Conformed, right? It say conforms. It say to conform to oneself, one's mind and character to another's pattern, fashions oneself according to. It say fashion alike. That is to conform to the same pattern, right? So you don't want to be like that. So you don't want to be in the fashion of this of this world, right? So it's saying, be not conformed to this world. Because why? This world is basically is only the distractions in this place. Here, they make the things that would actually distract you away from the Lord. They make it easy to see or easy to get. They put it right in front of your mind. Distractions is literally in this place. It's right in front of you. Things that will take you away from a righteous path. It's right in front of you. You understand? So that way say, and be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable, perfect will of God. Right? So don't fall to these distractions, especially in the time that we are in. So with that, we give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kakodash. We say that once apostles and elders agreements and ruler teachers are apostle in truth, and we say salutations, so they can consider push you with no truth and sincerity, day in and day out and constantly in season of the season. We say Shalom.